All right, so this is lesson 21. Like I said, it's our last day of logs, okay? So, see this right here? Maybe take your highlighter and highlight that. Y equals log base A of B. So there are restrictions on what A and B can be. You guys, can you take the log of a negative number, like log -2? You can't, right? You can't have negative numbers. How about the log of 0? Can you take the log of 0? You can. What's the log of 0? That's a 1. Yeah. Okay. So, is that true? I feel like I said something wrong. You cannot take the log of 0. You cannot take the log of 0. The reason I knew I said something wrong is because it says it has to be greater than 0. If you hit log 0, you get an error on your calculator. So it has to be bigger than 0. Another restriction is that A, down at the bottom, cannot be 1. Here's why A can't be 1. I'm just going to tell you. I didn't even tell my other classes. If you did the change of base formula on that yellow, you'd get log of B divided by log of A. Well, if A was 1, what's the log of 1? Do you guys remember? Log of 1 is 0. So I'd be dividing by 0, and I can't. That's why A can't be 1. But you guys, I don't think that's ever going to come up. Look at question 1A. They want to know the domain. So what they want you to do is they want you to look at the 7, and they want you to look at the 4x minus 5, and they want you to figure out the restrictions, right? Well, 7, the base, you guys, I don't think the base is ever going to be a problem. Do you see on B how the base is a 4? I think you're going to get a number there. So I think they're going to be totally valid. It's what you're taking the log of that's going to be the part that you have to watch. So see that 4x minus 5? I know that that 4x minus 5 has to be greater than 0. So everybody write down 4x minus 5 must be greater than 0. It can't be a 0. Remember, we got an error. And it can't be a negative. So move your 5 over. 4x greater than 5. Divide by 4. X is greater than 5/4. That's your answer. That's literally all you have to do. Okay, look at the next one. 3x minus 4 can't be negative and it can't be 0. So, or 3x minus 1, sorry. So go 3x minus 1 has to be greater than 0. So 3x has to be greater than 1. So x has to be greater than 1/3, and I'm done. That's it. Okay? All right, now we're going to solve some logs. Do not go ahead of me. I'm begging you not to go ahead of me. Okay? Step number 1, get the log alone. Once the log is alone, you're stuck. Everybody write down the word stuck. We're going to say that 15 times today. And when you're stuck, what do? We've already said it before. You convert it. Perfect. So do you see the first one says isolate? And the next one says convert because we got it stuck, right? And then you solve it, and then you check your answer, okay? So everybody look at question number 2. I want you to take your highlighter, and I want you to highlight the word log, and I want you to highlight the base, which is a 2, and I want you to highlight the x. That's all one thing, okay? I cannot stress to you right now how important it is that you understand the next 3 minutes of what I'm about to say. The 2 is embedded in the log. It's part of the log. The x is embedded in the log. It's part of the log. Don't write this down, but just look. If you had the square root of x minus 1 equals 5, would it be acceptable to add 1 to both sides? Tell me. No, because the -1, or the, whatever, the 1 is embedded in the square root. It's part of the square root. Well, the same thing is true over here, okay? So some people do this. Look, please don't ever do this. Some people will say, I can divide by 2, and that gives me the log of x equals 5/2. That's wrong. Dividing by 2 would be fine if it was multiplied by 2 right there. Then you would divide by 2 to get rid of it. Who says I understand that? Okay, but you can't divide by 2. You can't divide by x. If you did either one of those, it would just be like adding 1 to that guy over there. And I know you guys know that's not acceptable, right? Okay, so now we're stuck. Okay, write down the word stuck. We are stuck. Why are you stuck? Because the only thing over there is just a log. So when you're stuck, you convert it. So you write the base, which is a 2. You raise it to the other side, which is a 5, is equal to, what's the only thing I haven't written, everybody? X. And then 2 to the 5th is 32, so you get x equals 32. Now listen carefully to this. Do you see how in the original problem, the word log appears? If the original problem is in log form, you must check your answers, part of the problem. Okay, so I want you to write the word check. And here's how you check. Some people are not, it's common for people to not be good at the check. And you'll just get hit every time your check is not acceptable. So this is what you do. It's so easy. You go to the original problem. You write it down exactly the way you see it. But where you see an X, you put in a 32. So everybody go, log base 2 of 32 is equal to 5. Do you see how on the right it's an equals 5? Okay, leave it alone. And let's check the left and see if we get a 5. So everybody grab your calculator. How do you put in log base 2 of 32 in your calculator? Do you remember? Shout it out for me. Perfect. Log 32, close it, divided by log 2, close it, hit enter, and you get 5 equals 5. There's only one answer, to this whole problem, and it is x equals 32. And if I plug the 32 in, and I get a 5 and a 5, I walk away 100% certain that I just got that problem right. Okay? Okay, who says I'm with you right there? Okay, great. Let's come over here. Highlight the word log. Is the 5 part of the log? Yes or no? Yes. Okay, so let's highlight it. I didn't mean to change colors. Is the x part of the log? Yes, it is, because it's what I'm taking the log of, right? Is the -1 part of the log? Yes, it is. Why is the -1 part of the log? Because you've got parentheses. Look at this right here for 2 seconds. Log base 5 of x minus 1 equals 2. Look, is that -1 part of the log? No. You would not be stuck on that guy I just wrote. What would you do to get stuck? You'd move your 1 over, right? But that's not the case here because the -1 is part of the log. Who says I understand that? Okay, so I'm stuck. There's nothing over there on the left-hand side besides that log. Freeze right here for 2 seconds. Let me say one more thing. If it said 5 log base 5 of x minus 1 equals 2, would I be stuck? What would I do? Divide by 5. If this right here had like a +1 right there, would I be stuck? No, I'd move my 1 over. Who says gotcha? Okay, I don't have that though, so I'm stuck. So everybody go 5 raised to the other side, which is a 2, is equal to x minus 1. So that gives you x minus 1 equals 5 squared, which is 25. Move your 1 over, x equals 26. I'm not done. Why am I not done? You have to check. I literally want you to write the word check. You never check from the second step or third step or anything like that. It's always the original. So everybody write log base 5 of 26 minus 1 equals 2. Left side, let's put this in our calculator. Freeze for 2 seconds. You know what happens? When I say grab your calculator, people don't participate. And then when it comes time to the test and quiz, no idea how to put this in your calculator. So participate so you can get it right. Okay? Everybody hit log. Everybody in the room, tell me what we're going to put in right now. You could put in 26 minus 1, or you could put in 25. I'm going to go 25. And then what do I hit right there after the 25? Close it. You got to close that guy off, right? Then go divide log, tell me. 5. Close it. Enter. And I got 2 equals 2. X equals 26. Is there any way that my 26 is wrong? Is there any possibility? No. I put it back in and it worked. So 100% I'm right. Okay. Okay, question C. Take your highlighter and I want you to highlight the log and everything that's embedded in that log. And then I want you to freeze. Look at what you highlighted. Did you highlight the 4? Tell me that. No, you should not have. Here's my log. Here's my base. Here's what I'm taking the log of, including the 3. Am I stuck? No. Why am I not stuck? Divide by 4. Good. So now I have log base 2 in parentheses x minus 3. Don't drop those parentheses. 8 over 4 is a 2. What am I going to ask you right now? Are you stuck? What's the answer to the question? Yes, I am. So when you get stuck, what do? You convert it. So everybody go 2 to the other side, which is a 2, is equal to x minus 3. That gives you x minus 3 equals 4. Pull the 4 over, or pull the 3 over, x equals 7. Everybody in the room, am I done? No. Some people will do this. Look, check, and then they go 2 equals 2. Yay. No points. No points. Okay? You go from the original, you write the left side in. 4 log base 2 of 7 minus 3, and then put equals, and then 8. Okay, keep the right and 8. Let's do the left. Okay, everybody do this with me. 4 log 7 minus 3 is 4. Close it off. So I just put in 4 log 4 divided by log 2. You don't put that 4 in twice. There's only one 4 there. Close it off. Hit enter. 8 equals 8. I know I got that right. Okay, everybody watch and listen for 2 seconds. Go ahead.
Wait, how do you plug that into your calculator again?
Okay, let's do it again. Grab your calculator. Okay, so see this 4 right here, sweetheart?
Yeah.
Okay, put that in first. So go 4. Okay. Then you hit log. Remember, if that right there is not a 10, then you put this guy in first. So 7 minus 3 is 4. So I'm going to put in a 4. Then I'm going to close that. Then I'm going to go divide, log. Now I'm going to put that base right there, which is a 2. Close it off. Enter. 8 equals 8. Okay. Now everybody listen for 2 seconds. Okay. Just look forward and watch. This happens all the time. All the time. Watch right here. People will mess up. I'm not saying people mess up all the time. I'm saying a person would mess up. Then they come down here and they go 4 log base 2 of negative 7 minus 3 equals 8. And then they go, yay, 8 equals 8, checks out. There's my answer. If you get the answer wrong, is the check going to work? Yes or no? Tell me. Could you put in a wrong answer into an equation and it works? No way. So you know what they did? They faked it. I know they faked it. Because a negative 7 is not going to give you an 8 on the left-hand side. Who says I understand? So you're going to lose points. If this happens to you, which I don't think it will. I'm not saying, people miss this all the time. I'm just saying you're going to lose points here because you got the right answer. I'll figure out how many mistakes you made. But you're also going to miss points there because you faked it. I know you faked it because it would never work. The answer's wrong. The check is not going to work. Who says gotcha? Let's see. Okay, yay. Okay. Here is question D. Yes.
Why do you do 4 log on the top of the calculator but not on the bottom?
Because I would put it on the bottom if it looked like this. It's on the bottom, right?
But when you put it in your calculator, you put 4 log of 4 because it was a so why don't you put the 4 log of 2?
So she wants to know why didn't I hit 4 log 4 divided by 4 log 2, right? Because this 4 is not distributed to those. You just look at it and you say, okay, is the 4 on the top or is it on the bottom? It's on the top, so I'm going to write it like that. If the 4 was down here, I wouldn't write it there. I'd write it there. So long story short, just put it in once. Okay? Okay, question here, same thing, same question,
Yeah.
you good? Okay, everybody go to question D. Highlight the log. Everything that's embedded in the log, I want you to highlight it. If you can't highlight it, then you're not going to be able to solve this. If you can't see it right. Okay, let's see if you highlighted correctly. Okay, there's your highlight. Who said I did it right? Okay, up above that, I want you to write this. 2.3y minus 3 equals 9. It's the same thing. You guys all know how to solve 2.3y minus 3 equals 9. I know you do. That's how you get stuck. So everybody tell me what to do. Add 3. So now you have 2.3 ln of 5x equals 12. What am I going to ask you? Are you stuck is the question, right? Your brain sees 2.3y equals 12. Are we stuck? No. You divide by 2.3. So now you have the ln of 5x equals, this is an important moment, so listen. Everybody go 12 divide 2.3. I get a bad decimal. Can I take that 5.21739 blah, 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 and write it as 5.2 and carry through my problem with 5.2? No way. No way, because it's wrong. It's not what it's equal to, right? So what in the world do I do when I get a bad decimal? You leave it alone. So keep it as 12 over 2.3. Is that going to be fun? No, I know it's a fraction, but we don't have any other option, okay? Freeze right there for 2 seconds. Yes.
So on this one, you divided by the 2.3. On C, did you divide by 4 too, or did you? Because on C there was a 4 in front of the log 2. So do you divide by the 4 up there? Because you divide by the 2.3 in front of.
Yes. I divided by 4 because 8 divided by 4 was 2. So yes.
Okay.
You okay? That's all right. That's all right. Okay. Everybody take the ln. I want you to erase it, and I want you to write it as, what do I want you to put here? Log base e. Do you have to do that? No. But I want you to see the e and the conversion so I don't confuse anybody. So I'm stuck. So I convert it. So it's going to be e to the 12 over 2.3 is equal to 5x. How do I solve for x, everybody? Divide by 5. So I have x equals e to the 12 over 2.3 divided by 5. Now that's pretty ugly. I know that. But you guys are smart. You can deal with it. Come over here and write the word check. Where do you always check from? The original, right? So everybody go 2.3 ln. I'm going to make that a bracket. Then I'm going to go 5. In parentheses, e to the 12 over 2.3 divided by 5. Close my parenthesis. Close my bracket. Minus 3 equals 9. Now that's going to be terrible to put in my calculator, right? So look what I'm going to do that's going to make it easier. I'm going to take this guy right here. I'm going to put it in my calculator. I'm going to get a decimal and I'm going to store it. And then when I pull it up right here, I'm just going to hit memvar. It's going to be much easier. Okay, so let's do it together. Everybody stick right with me. Everybody go second ln. 12 divided by 2.3, close it. Divided by 5, store, enter. Now go over here to the left side of the check, and when you see that terrible e to the business, let's just hit memvar. Okay, everybody go 2.3 ln 5 memvar, enter, close it, minus 3 equals, I got my 9. 9 equals 9. So I know my answer is correct, and that's what I'm going to write it as. Just like that. Does anybody need me to go through the calculator stuff again? You're kind of looking at me with like bad eyes. You're like, I'm a face reader. You have a calculator again? Okay, let's do the whole thing again. Who says yes, please?
Yes.
Okay, here we go. Clear it out. I'm putting in the answer, the e to the 12 over 2.3 divided by 5. Okay, second ln. 12. Divide 2.3, close it. Divided by 5, store, enter. On your calculator screen right now, it should say 36.89. Good? Okay, come over to the green check. 2.3, ln, 5. Now I've got that ugly e to the business, but I stored it already, right? So hit memvar, enter. Now I have to close that ln. So I'm going to close it. You've got a -3, hit enter. There's my 9. Raise your hand if you got a 9 when you put it in your calculator. Okay. Do you see why it's complicated? If you don't do it, if you don't practice it, if you still didn't get a 9, come up after the lesson and I will help you. Okay? Okay, here's question E. Up above this, I want you to put an asterisk. Okay? And I want you to write these words. Multiple logs and a number that is not a 0. Look what I've got. A log, and a 1, and that's a number that's not a 0. Okay? You guys are going to tell me what the steps are. We're going to go step 1, step 2. Look at the problem and think about what you would do. Moving one of the logs to the other side is not the right answer. That's terrible. Make it so much tougher. What would you do? You're exactly right. Condense. Yay. We learned this last time. So if those are added, when you squish them, you do what, everybody? You multiply. So it's 5 times x minus 9 equals 1. Now look, I don't like how that looks. I think it's an accident waiting to happen. So if you just take an extra 2 seconds and add brackets, then it's so clear. What do I do now? What question would I ask you right now? Are you stuck? And what's the answer to the question? Yes, you are. So then what would be the next step? Convert. So right there on step 2, I want you to write the word convert. So the base is a 10. So the conversion is 10 to the other side, which is a 1, is equal to 5 times x minus 9. Yes. I was going to, but I didn't want to freak anybody out. So yes, you may. And now that's actually the next step. So that was a great lead in, honey. So 5x minus 45 is equal to 10. Yes. Because the base is a 10 and I converted it. So it's 10 to the first. You okay? Okay, move your 45 over. 4x equals 55. Divide by 5, x equals 11. For those of you who ask questions, thank you so much. Like McCall, you just asked that question. Well, if you were like timid and afraid and self-conscious, you would have never asked that question and you would have never understood this problem. So, yay. Don't be afraid, and no one's going to make fun of you in here, okay? So thank you, guys. Okay, everybody write the word check. And go log of 5 plus the log of 11 minus 9 is equal to 1. You put the check in on the left by yourself. So start seeing if you know how to put that thing in. Did you get a 1? You should have gotten a 1. Okay, if you didn't get a 1, then you didn't put it in correctly. Does anybody need help putting that in? Okay, let's keep going. Question F. 2 logs and a number that's not a 0, condense and convert. These are added. So when I squish them, they're going to be multiplied. So it's 4 times x plus 4. That's the log of that stuff. I'm going to make mine nice and clean because I don't want to miss this question. After I condense, don't look at your paper. What do? You convert it. So you write your base down, which is a 6. You raise it to the other side, which is a 1, is equal to what I haven't written yet, which is 4 times x plus 4. Now I distribute 4x plus 16 equals 6. Pull my 16 over, 4x equals negative 10. Divide by 4, x equals negative 10 over 4. Reduce it, x equals negative 5 over 2. What are you going to say to your friend, your classmate that's in your group, that says to you, I'm confused because I thought you can't have a negative? What are they thinking about? The whole can't do negative. Keep talking. They're thinking about taking the log of that. Are we taking the log of negative 5 halves? Not necessarily. We got to plug it in and check, right? So good. You can have a negative. You just can't take the log of a negative. Everybody write check. Log base 6 of 4 plus log base 6 of negative 5 over 2 plus 4 equals 1. I want you to put the left side in by yourself. Do you get a 1? You do get a 1. You guys are so cute. I swear I love being a teacher. I looked at you guys and someone went like this. Literally like this. To me, that's like, I didn't get a 1. Let's do it. Okay, who needs help doing this? Okay, let's do it. You guys are cracking me up. Okay, clear your calculator out. Left side. Log, tell me. Log 4. Close it. Tell me now. Divide, keep talking. Log 6. Close it. Tell me what now? Plus, talk, log, yes, negative 5, divide 2, plus 4. Tell me what to hit now. Wait, plus 4, what comes right after 4? Close it, yeah. Plus, no, not plus. What do I hit? Divide, log 6, close it, enter, bam. Got my 1. Still didn't? Okay, I'm just going to tell the whole class, you're the one that did the funny shoulder thing. It was so cute. It was literally like that. I think she even did this. Okay, let's do it one more time. Okay? One more time, girl. That's all you got. Okay? Okay, here we go. Log 4. Close it. She's like, divide.
Wait, why?
Because that's okay. Because it's not log base 10. So to evaluate that pink thing, I have to go log 4. Now we can raise our shoulders up. Now you're good, honey, right? Okay, so I know I'm right and we're good. Okay. Okay, that was F. Here's G. Okay, 2 logs and a number that's not a 0, condense and convert. So this is going to be log base 4 of 10 multiplied by x plus 3 equals 3. Now I'm going to convert it. So it's 4 to the 3rd equals 10 times x plus 3. Yes, you can distribute that right now and write 10x plus 30, but I don't want to freak anybody out. Yes.
Is it 4 to the 3rd because it's equal to 30?
It's this rule right here. Log base A of B equals C. When I convert that, it's A to the other side is equal to B. So all I did is convert it. So it's 4 to the other side 3 equals what I haven't written yet.
Okay.
You okay? Okay, good. Distribute 10x plus 30 is equal to 4 to the third, which is 64. Move your 30. 10x equals 34. Divide. X equals 34 over 10. Reduce. That would be 17 over 5. Are we done? No. Write the word check. Log base 4 of 10 plus log base 4 of 17 over 5 plus 3 equals 3. You do it. I don't want any sagging shoulders. Did you get it?
No!
Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm going to come stand by you.
Please do.
Okay, I think just the presence will make it go right. Okay, I want to see what you're doing. Okay.
Oh.
Okay. Keep going.
Oh, I know what I did. I did.
Okay, so did you put 1705 plus 3?
No, I did 3.4 plus 3 equals 7.4 instead of 6.
17 over 5 is not 3.4. It is?
Yeah.
Okay, never mind.
Okay, I got it.
Never mind.
Sorry.
Did you get it? Yay. Okay, so you should have gotten 3 equals 3, and you're done.
Don't give me anxiety.
There's your answer done. No anxiety. You guys are so smart. No, you're good. Okay. Okay, I do think example 3 is a little tough. What time does the bell ring? 26? 27. Okay, so we'll be fine, but I want to make sure we finish. We have a quiz next time. Okay. This one's kind of maybe this much tough. Okay, so watch really closely. Okay, let Q represent the mass in grams of radium, whose half-life is 1,620 years. The mass of radium present after T years is given by this equation. Okay, so let's write down that T stands for years, and that Q of T stands for the amount of radium in grams. Okay. Okay, first thing I want to say to you, see the 1/2? Could I write that as 0.5? Could I do that? Yes, I could. So let's do it. Let's go Q of T is equal to 16 times 0.5 raised to the T over 1,620. Let's just make sure everybody knows what half-life is. Okay, I'm sure you do from science. You have 100 grams of radium. 1 half-life cycle has passed, 1,620 years. Your 100 has gone down to what? 50. Then another 1,620 years pass. Now you have 25. Another one passes, keeps getting cut in half. Okay. You should be able to answer this question almost instantaneously. What is the initial mass? Look at the question. Look at the equation. We've done this about 2 or 3 lessons ago. What's the initial mass? Do you know? It is 16. Yes. It's this number right here. This is exponential growth or decay, and the beginning value is always at the beginning. So that is 16, and that would be grams. Now, I know we don't need to do this, but we're going to continue on part A. Initially, how much time has passed? 0, right? Everybody write down Q of 0 is equal to 16 times 0.5 to the 0 over 1,620. You could do that if you forgot that front number is initial. Now listen to this. You don't need a calculator for this. You guys, what's 0 over 1,620? 0. What's 1/2 to the 0? Anything to the 0 is a what? A 1. And what's 1 times 16? 16. Okay, so obviously it's easier to look and remember, but it's fine. Okay, vertical intercept. Vertical is this. Okay, is this X or is this Y? This is Y. So X would be 0. Okay, well, we just did that. The X is the stuff that's always within the equation, right? Embedded in that. That's the t. Well, t is 0. I already know that that's 16. I just did it up above. So what does that mean? I'm going to say there are 16 grams of radium. This is awkward at 0 years, at 0 time. That's awkward. Like, it's credit because you get it, but it's so awkward. What else could you say?
When those years have passed.
At the beginning, how about this? Someone shouted this out yesterday. Initially. Right? Okay. Question C is where I'm going to kind of stretch you a little bit. Okay. This is like a little review for the quiz as well. Okay. I want you, first of all, is this growth or is it decay? Decay. I would love you to look at that equation and tell me how you know it's decay.
Well, it's less than 1.
What's less than 1? The base is less than 1. Yeah, perfect. That means decay. So I want you to put decay factor. And then I want you to put decay rate. They are different. You have to understand the difference. The factor is the base in the equation. Well, that's easy. Look at the equation. What's the base? 0.5. So the decay factor on this problem is 0.5. To find the decay rate, we talked about this, but you weren't like 100% perfect on it. You either go 1 minus the factor, or you go the factor minus 1. Whichever one doesn't give you a negative. So if you go 0.5 minus 1, you get a negative. So that's not it. So you switch it. So go 1 minus 0.5. What do you get? 0.5. So on this problem, the decay factor and the decay rate are the same. Okay? What does this mean? I'm just going to say the amount of grams decreases by 50%. I'm going to make one more connection over here, just because I want to make sure you're good. Write it, don't write it, I don't care. Y equals 4 times 0.6 to the x. So just write that. Growth or decay? Tell me that. Decay. Why decay? 0.6 is less than 1. So you're going to have a decay factor and you're going to have a decay rate. Which one is the number that's sitting there right now? Is that the factor or is that the rate? That's the factor. So the factor is 0.6. Can anybody tell me the decay rate? What is that? It is 0.4. Yep. 0.6 minus 1 gives you a negative. Go the other way. 1 minus 0.6, that gives you 0.4. There's your rate. Who says I understand that? Okay, yay.
So if it were growth, you would still not want it. It would just be 1 plus.
Correct, yes. And that's why you don't even have to remember which way to go. Just remember you don't want a negative. That's easier, I think. Okay, good question, honey. Okay, how much radium will be present after 1,000 years? Well, that's easy. You just go Q of 1,000 is equal to 16 times 0.5 to the 1,000 divided by 1,620. Grab your calculator. This is so important. People mess up on this a ton. So look, 16 parenthesis 0.5, close it, raise it to the, freeze right there. Before I put in that 1,000, what do I have to do? Parenthesis. 1,000, so go parenthesis. 1,000 divided by 1620, close it off, hit enter. Let's say the directions told you to go 2 digits, so it would be 10.43. If you don't have a label, we talked about labels when we were doing the midterm. They said if you don't have labels, they're going to take off a lot on the final, so you've got to be careful. What's the answer? What's my label? Grams. Okay, one more question. The normal healing of wounds can be modeled by this equation, where A sub 0 is the original area of the wound, A is the wound after n days. Suppose the wound has an original area of 100 square millimeters. Okay, let's talk about this. You get hurt. You have a wound. If everything's clean and going great, your wound gets smaller and smaller and smaller. Okay? Look at the equation. First of all, there's a typo. See how it says point? That should just be 1 point. I also think the 0 in front of the decimal is confusing and stupid. It's unnecessary and it just makes it tougher. Okay? So I never write it. So anyway, there's something in that equation that tells you right now that that wound is healing. Oops, didn't mean to scribble. That the wound is healing. What is it that tells me, guys? Say it again. No. But, and somebody asked me about that last time. They were thinking like this was like the number 0 right here. That's just a symbol. It's just like an X or something. So it literally could say A sub n equals X right there. And it's the same thing. It's just a variable. What tells me it's getting better?
Is it the negative?
It is. It is. The negative, that's a rate up there. Yes, so you're exactly right. Okay, so A sub 0 is what you start with. They tell us we started with 100. So let's change our equation. So it's going to be A sub n is equal to 100 e to the negative 0.35 n. Nice and clean. I dropped my 0. Everything's clear. Okay, everybody put n equals and A sub n equals. So the n, if you read in that little paragraph, it tells you n stands for days. And the A sub n is the area. And they tell me it's in millimeters squared. Okay? So question A, after how many days, freeze right there, after how many days, day stands for n. I know I'm trying to find my n. So my n, my whole right-hand side is just going to stay the way it is because they want me to find n. Okay? Now I have to put in a number over on the left side. Okay? A sub n stands for area. So it says, after how many days will it be half of its original size? The number that I put on the left is not 0.5 or 1/2. That's not what goes there. What is it? It's 50 because it started with 100 and now it's at 50. Who says I understand? Okay, now look at this. What am I going to ask you for the 1,000,000th time today? Are you stuck? What's the answer to the question? We are not. Look right here. Here's your base. Here's your exponent. What's over there that doesn't go with that? The 100. So we are not stuck. So we divide by 100 and you have e to the negative 0.35 n is 50 divided by 100, which is 0.5. What am I going to ask you? Are you stuck? What's the answer to the question? Yes, we are stuck. So when you're stuck, what do? Convert it. Now, freeze. Some people don't understand this. They think it's like this. That's an exponent. That's exponential. So's that guy. So if he's an exponential, when I convert him, he's going to go to tell me.
The log.
You convert it to log. Yeah. So it's log base e of 0.5. That's ln. 0.5 is negative 0.35 n. What do I do to solve for n? Divide. Yeah. So you get n equals ln 0.5 divided by negative 0.35. We're going to do another one just like this, so don't be afraid. Okay, everybody go ln 0.5, close it, divided by negative 0.35, hit enter. Don't clear your calculator. Hold it right there, okay? Let's say the directions told you to round it to 2 digits. So it would be 1.98. What's my label? Is it millimeters squared? It's days. Why did I ask you not to clear your calculator? They're not connected. So when you get to 1050, absolutely, you have to save. Actually, I don't think we do it in here. There will be points when you have to save that for the next part. That is not the case here. Does anybody have any idea what I'm going to have you do right now? Okay.
Store it.
We're going to store it. Everybody hit store, enter. And then what am I going to have you do? I'm going to have you check it. You can check this thing in 20 seconds. How do you check it? See that yellow? Stick in the yellow. Where you see N, hit a mem bar, and you better get a 50. So I'm plugging it back in. So you go 100, second, ln, negative 0.35, mem bar, enter, close it, enter, bam. I just checked it. Plugged it back in, I got a 50. If I would have used 1.98 instead of mem bar, it would have checked out. Would it have checked out? No, because it's rounded, it's not going to be right. Yes. Sorry, can I finish and then I'll take your question? Because I think the bell rings in like 2 minutes. So I want to finish and then I'll come back, honey, okay? Okay, how long? Everybody put equals 100e to the negative 0.35 n. I know I'm finding n. Before the wound is 10% of its original size. Somebody tell me what to put on the left-hand side. It is 10. 10% of 100 is 10. What am I going to ask you? Are you stuck? What's the answer? No. What do? Divide by 100. So you have e to negative 0.35n is 10 divided by 100, which is 0.1. What am I going to ask you? Are you stuck? What's the answer? Yes. What do? Convert it into what? Into log. So it's log base e of 0.1. That's ln. 0.1 is negative 0.35 n. Divide n equals ln 0.1 divided by negative 0.35. Grab your calculator. Go ln 0.1, close it. Divided by negative 0.35, enter. Don't clear your calculator. Let's go 2 digits, and we're going to say 6.58 days. Let's go back through checking. Here's where you put it in to check. So everybody hit store, enter. Then go 100, second, ln, negative 0.35, membar, enter, membar, enter, close it, enter, 10. Boy, that was perfect. 10 equals 10. Okay, some of you have your midterms on your desk. You have to give those back to me, okay? You have a quiz next time. Hey guys, tomorrow's tutorial. You have 3 hours of homework. It might be wise to come to tutorial and get some help, okay? Have a wonderful day. You guys are awesome. That took a little longer. Thank you. Took a little longer than what I thought, but at least we got her done, okay? Yes, I'm sorry about that question, honey.
So I understood what I did wrong for that one. But
Okay.
then right here, how would you check it? What would you put in? So 100.
Okay.